Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Mario Cristobal, the Miami Hurricanes, keep it rolling in the transfer portal, landing another commitment from former Louisville linebacker Jaylen Alderman. And although it's not as flashy of a pickup as Damian Martinez was last night, a guy that I think is one of the best running backs in the whole entire country, Jaylen Alderman comes into this Miami Hurricanes defense and is going to be a contributor for them in that 2024 season. I don't know if he's necessarily going to start because you got two damn good linebackers in Wesley Bissainthe and Kiko. That being said, we talk about the Miami Hurricanes and their goals in 2024. It's to win in November, win an ACC championship, go make a run in the college football playoffs. If you want to win late in the college football season, you got to make sure you are deep at a lot of different positions. I think we had some question marks about the depth in that Miami Hurricanes linebacker room. You go out and get a former 13-game starter for the Louisville Cardinals. This one makes a lot of sense. Want to dive into Jaylen Alderman, talk a little bit about what he brings to this Miami Hurricanes defense before we get into it. And as always, just want to say thank you to you guys. A massive shout out to the Miami Hurricane fans. We got on late last night, talked about Damian Martinez. Y'all know I've had a blast talking this program, doing the updates in the transfer portal. Cannot thank you guys enough for rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into Jaylen Alderman now. Want to have this conversation from kind of two different lenses. One, let's talk about Jaylen Alderman as a player, and then talk about what this Hurricanes linebacker room looks like heading into 2024. You dive into Jaylen Alderman, 13-game starter for that Louisville defense in 2023, a defense that was really good in the ACC last year. Really productive linebacker, right? 62 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss. The kind of number that I have circled, the 7 tackles for a loss. You turn on the film from Jaylen Alderman. He's a linebacker that wants to go downhill. You take a look at the run stops, 18 run stops, an average depth of tackle of only 2 yards down the field. What does that tell you? Jaylen Alderman wants to play downhill, and I think it's a really good fit in terms of this Miami Hurricanes defensive line with potentially getting even more talented over the next couple of days. This is a perfect defense for Jaylen Alderman to come into and kind of play his style of football where he's downhill, he's penetrating behind the line of scrimmage. This one makes a lot of sense, and I'll say this, after watching a little bit of Jaylen Alderman, kind of hearing some buzz about him going to the Miami Hurricanes, watching the game against Miami that he played in 2023, you kind of get a vibe of why the Miami Hurricanes went after this kid. Probably played his best game all year against the Miami Hurricanes. So I think this staff knows what he's able to do. And I think they feel really good about this pickup heading into 2024. And I think the bigger reason why I think this is a really nice addition for the Miami Hurricanes is, yeah, he probably plays a lot for Miami, probably similar to the role that KJ Cloyd came in and played for the Miami Hurricanes in 2023, also coming from Louisville. I mean, KJ Cloyd ended up playing over 400 snaps for that Miami Hurricanes defense, played some really solid football for them as well. I see Jaylen Alderman playing a very similar role where he's probably not going to be a starter, but he's a guy that's getting rotated into that front seven, can give you some juice in the pass rush as well, plays downhill. I think he fits what this Miami Hurricanes defense wants to do, and I want to have a short conversation regarding how this Hurricanes linebacker room looks like heading into 2024, where, again, you feel really good about your two starting linebackers in Kiko and Wesley Bissainthe. Then you look at the depth, a question mark that we had about this Miami Hurricanes team. You go back to the spring game, guys like Bobby Pruitt playing extremely well as a true freshman. He seems to be a guy that's probably going to be hard to keep off the field. You add a guy in Jaylen Alderman who has a ton of experience playing over 600 snaps for Louisville last year. I think the question that you had for this Miami Hurricanes linebacker room in terms of the depth is really more of the experience than it was the talent, right? We feel pretty good about guys like Popo or Bobby Pruitt, but they haven't played a ton of football at the Power 5 level yet. Jaylen Alderman comes into this linebacker room and has played a lot of football, has that experience, a guy that adds kind of exactly what the Miami Hurricanes needed in the transfer portal. I think that's a really good talking point too, where, you know, a lot of people like to say Mario Cristobal just taking everybody from the transfer portal, not much direction. I would push back against that. You look at some of the additions that the Miami Hurricanes made. Now, you make no mistake about it. They are going to look to improve every single position on the football field. But you look at some of the targeted guys that they are going after, it really fits what they need. And I think that's how you use the portal. It's no secret that Mario Cristobal is getting it done on the high school trail. You want to use the portal to kind of supplement your roster, fill in some of the cracks. And I think the depth and experience in that linebacker room was probably one of those questions. And I think you look at a guy in Jaylen Alderman saying, yeah, he fills exactly what the Miami Hurricanes were looking for in that linebacker room. Really like this one. It's not as sexy as Damian Martinez, but make no mistake about it, it makes this Miami Hurricanes defense better. Now, I want to talk about one more guy before we cut this one off, and that is Donnie Hill coming from Marshall. We'll do a deep dive if and when he does end up committing to the Miami Hurricanes. This is another one of those perfect fits in this Hurricanes defense where we have some question marks about the boundary cornerback spot in the secondary largely as a whole. And our questions are not necessarily the top-end talent that they have. You have guys like Jadias Richard or Damari Brown or Rob Stafford, who we all know are really talented, just not necessarily proven commodities at the Power 5 level. Donnie Hill, although not at the Power 5 level, is a proven commodity in the college football landscape, played a ton of football for Marshall last year. A couple things that I really like. One, the relationship between Chavis Jackson and Lance Guidry. They know Donnie Hill better than any of us. They know if he's capable of making that jump from the group of 5 level to the Power 4 level. That's going to get – I'm going to have to get used to saying Power 4 level. But Donnie Hill is a guy that has played a lot at the group of 5 level, 6% missed tackle rate, only 55% completion percentage when targeted, played over 670 snaps. We said for the Miami Hurricanes, we wanted them to add an experienced cornerback. There were some flashy names, guys like Cormani McLean, who you kind of are interested in, but they don't have that proven production. And we said we already have that talent. We need experience. We need proven production. I think Donnie Hill would really satisfy exactly what we were looking for in that cornerback room. If he does commit, we'll take a deeper dive into Donnie Hill. Pretty familiar with his game after taking a look at some of his games the last couple of days. We'll keep you guys updated. We'll hop on again if we got to break down Donnie Hill, but I think another really effective, and again, not necessarily the sexy addition, but a damn good addition for this Miami Hurricanes team. We'll wrap it on that. Big-time commitment from Jaylen Alderman. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. Again, all the support you guys show continues to mean the world. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.